Warning: this creepypasta isn't meant to be taken seriously. This creepypasta has been made for entertainment purposes only and is not meant to be taken seriously. Now, with all of that said, please enjoy. Donkey Kong Country 3 is one of my favorite video games of all time, being my second favorite 2D platformer of all time, right below DKC2. I adore this game to death, and I think that this game is very underrated and overhated by people. Now, this isn't what we're talking about today. We're talking about a strange thing that happened to me some time ago. So, I was searching on eBay for listings of DKC3 so I could buy the game and play it. I previously have played this game on the Nintendo Switch Online system and haven't actually played the game on an actual Super Nintendo, so I was about to purchase a cartridge to do exactly that. The game didn't cost too much, costing around $100 with the box, the manual, and everything basically. A bit cheap, but not that far apart from, retro collecting markets, because, well, retro games nowadays go for a lot of price and makes sense actually. Anyway, the game arrived and everything looked normal. The packaging looked normal, the card itself was normal, everything was good and dandy. So I popped it into my Super Nintendo and started playing. Everything was normal. Everything was normal until I reached the level with the saw in it. You know, that level in the treetops and the saw is trying to kill you. You know what I'm talking about. So I was playing the game as normal, dodging the saw as normal as I play it. But I accidentally slipped and fell into the saw. Now this is where shit got real. So if you played the game, you know normally that if you fall into this chainsaw, you actually just fall off. Dixie or Kitty say, "Ah," and then fall off the stage. But this was something else. This was totally something else, man. So I dropped in as Dixie, and instead of the normal animation, normal death animation, Dixie got turned into bloody pieces. Blood got splashed all over the place. I was horrified. I was like, what the fuck? Why is this even here? This isn't normally in the game. And then something even weirder happened. Kiddy Kong started to cry. He was just horrified and screaming and crying because, Dixie, his cousin, has just died, So, Kitty also dropped himself inside the saw, killing himself in the process. After that, a black screen came on, and then it was sent to the overworld map, where Winkly Kong was in the overworld map talking to herself, saying, "Man, these kids have been gone for a long time. I better check up on them." So she checks around every level and she doesn't find them until she reaches, the chainsaw level. There, she sees it. She sees the torn up pieces and bloods of Dixie and Kitty. Horrified for her grandkid, actually not her grandkids, because, hold on, DK is basically the grandkid of, so this is basically like the grandkid, whatever, man, I don't know. So she's seeing one of her family members and one of her dearest died, she screamed her lungs out. Then she started crying. The console was normal. The game cut into a black screen for about 3 seconds. Not actually 3, for around 5 or 7 seconds actually, I think. And after that, it cut to most of the DK family, Wrinkly Kong, Cranky Kong, Swanky Kong, and Funky Kong, crying over the grave of Dixie Kong and Kitty Kong, which they were buried right next to each other. It was very saddening, but at this point, I was emotionless. I was like, why is this in the game? This is not meant to be in the game. I played this game countless times on Switch Online and it was totally fine. Nothing like this ever happened. So confused. I was just interested because, this is a fucking shit show now. So what I did, I was kept on watching. After that, the game crashed. I rebooted the console, and the game was just on the northern hemisphere. Where at the start of the game, Dixie drops off of the cliff and into the river. It was there, but I couldn't move because Dixie and Kitty were fucking dead, and Wrinkly's cave was now abandoned. Presumably, nobody knows what happened to her. But I like to think as it like 2 options. Either 1, she abandoned this place and went somewhere else, or 2, which is a bit more spicy, that she killed herself because she couldn't bring herself to live in a world without her dear grandchildren. So that was it. I said to myself, what the fuck even just happened? What the fuck? Was this a ROM hack that I ordered? Did nobody actually notice this? Did the guy scammed me? I said to myself, whatever, man. As I had a pretty good amount of money on me, I bought a second copy of eBay, exactly in the same shape and order as the previous one. Box, manual, game, everything looked normal. This time, again, the game itself was normal until I ran into the boss of fly enemies. And again, I was playing as Dixie, and she again, just like how she was turned into bloody pieces when she fell into the saw, she again just was turned into bloody pieces again. Kitty again was horrified and screaming and crying for her cousin, as the buzz just stood there, flying there, floating there, menacingly staring at Kitty. The game again cut to a black screen of the same funeral again. Instead, Dixie was there, and the same thing happened again. The game crashed. I rebooted the console. But again, I was left at the northern hemisphere with the same thing as Wrinkly Kong did with her cave at the last copy. So at this point, I'm like, okay, this can't be normal. I bought 2 copies in a row, and both of them had some stupid aw shit and nonsensical shit in it like this. So I went into my computer and made a video about it. Just talking about what happened. And in a few hours, I got responses from the comments under the video. And it seems that people also remember this happening to them as a kid. But nobody really remembered it until now. So what? Was this like some kind of Mandela effect or something? I don't know. But You know the Mandela effect. You remember something, but it actually turns out to be wrong or something completely different. Gaming also had a few Mandela effects, but none of them were as bad as this. This just probably completely shocked the entire Nintendo community. After this, my video went viral, and everybody in the Nintendo fanbase was talking about this and how disturbing this was. Nintendo is usually kitty cute and family friendly with their games with no blood or that many violent things, but this was just on another level. So at this point, I'm just questioning reality and my entire memory and my entire life. I said to myself, what, did I have dementia, Alzheimer's? What the fuck was even going on with my brain, bro? Like, at this point, I was just in disbelief. So one of my favorite platforming games was ruined for me, and it just completely blew my fucking mind. So I went to sleep. And the next morning I wake up and I saw that both of the copies plus the Super Nintendo are gone. How were they gone? I don't know. And I don't even have the answer, and I don't know where they went to this day. I am very shocked, confused, horrified that somebody probably broke into my house and stole these copies for themselves because, the thing went viral. And I was just questioning the reality of things. And I'm like, holy shit, man. I didn't even know what to think. My entire perspective of reality was changed, and everything was now different. So, yeah, that's the story. That's what happened to DKC3, and nobody has been able to play it ever since. That's it. See you guys later. Bye.